Hey Jen, can you believe that we've owned this Ford Ranger Raptor for a year?
A year? How many miles are on it?
Well, just over 9,000 miles, but we've done a heck of a lot with this truck. In this long-term review, 1-year update, I want to do the following. My top 5 likes and my top 5 dislikes, and I want to see if you agree. And at the end of this video, how about this? How about we say, would we do this again? Would we buy it again? So my top favorite thing has to be the engine and powertrain, Jen.
Not the mud all over it though, right?
No, not the mud, but it just shows that we have been using this truck. It hasn't been just a highway princess, right? Just driving around. And the powertrain is wonderful. And actually, this truck was a huge deal a year ago when we bought it in early April of 2024, and it still is a huge deal. So the reason why it was a huge deal is because this is our first for United States Ranger Raptor, because those Aussies, right, and Europeans and everybody else around the world had this and we didn't.
Why do we always get left out of the cool stuff?
Well, we do have some cool trucks that the other people don't, but this was one of those that other people had a cool truck and we didn't. So, but this is a 3-liter twin-turbo EcoBoost V6, and of course the Ranger lineup has 2 other engines available, but this is the top dog. Over 400 horsepower, so about 405 when we purchased it, and a really good amount of torque, 430 pound-feet. And then we also tuned this truck. So here it is. So we purchased a Ford Performance Tuner. So this is not an aftermarket thing. This is basically something that Ford sold, and you could actually get this performance tune into the truck yourself or have your dealer do this. We did it ourselves. And how about this? Tommy and I took it to the drag strip, and we could show that right now.
Let's go ahead and run a 0 to 60 mile per hour test with the Ranger to see what the bench line is for that as well. So same test parameters, 4-wheel drive auto, traction control off, 2,000 RPM brake boost, and then full throttle. So here we go. And full throttle. Pretty good. And that 10-speed shifts so quickly, so quickly. Okay, there we have it. So we got let's come back down to 0. Let's check out the time. That was a 7.04 at 350 feet. Okay, 0 to 60. Let's see if we see a change. Same 2,000 RPM brake boost right there, and full throttle. Sport mode. This truck really does sound good. Definitely notice a bigger bump. I mean, that was over 16 PSI, 17 in boost pressure. Okay, let's see what that was in 0 to 60 times. Wow, 6.54 at 324 feet.
We ran the truck versus my Chevy Colorado Trail Boss before the tune and then after. And it was a noticeable difference on paper. You know, the GPS devices said it's about half a second quicker, 0 to 60, and also a little bit quicker in the quarter mile. But you know what Tommy said?
What?
He said, seat of the pants, it felt the same, about the same.
Interesting.
So even though you added 50 horsepower and about 100 pound-feet of torque, the seat of the pants feeling was about the same. But that's not to say it's bad. This truck is a hoot for daily driving. You could be relaxed on it, or you could kind of put it in sport mode. Well, how about you and I just take it for a ride right now?
All right, let's go.
Finding high-quality, long-lasting goods seems to be getting harder and harder every single year, but I want to talk to you about a product that I've been using for multiple years that just keeps working. This is my Ridge wallet, and it may seem kind of odd in an ad read to show off a dented, scratched up, beat up product, but this wallet has been through the ringer. It's been dropped in rivers and streams. It's been dropped countless times off-road. It's been scratched and dented, and it just keeps coming back for more. Several members of the TFL team actually use Ridge wallets every single day because they are a slim, low-profile RFID blocking wallet that can hold up to 12 cards plus cash. Got keys? Well, Ridge has you covered there because the slick key case can hold up to 6 keys at a time. Better yet, Ridge now has an American traditional style, which features these really cool, almost tattoo-like images on the fronts of their wallets. They come in a couple of colors and they really give it a distinct look. Genuinely, folks, the Ridge wallet has been a part of my life for a long time. time now. And if you're interested and you want to find out more, here's how you can get a discount. Give yourself or your special someone something special that you'll use every day, a sleek traditional wallet by Ridge. Click on the link below or go to ridge.com/TFLtruck and use code TFLtruck for 10% off your order. That's ridge.com/TFLtruck, code TFLtruck for 10% off your order. And thank you to Ridge for sponsoring this video.
All right, Jen, so we're here right next to our Onyx off-road pond course. This is not about off-roading here because we've done a lot with that and we'll show you some video. But I wanted to get a sense for how it drives.
Okay. All right. So where are we going?
Well, first we have to exit Tumbleweed Ranch. And in order to exit, and by the way, I'm in Baja mode right now.
Ooh.
I'm gonna give it some beans.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we're going about 45.
Woo!
And there's gonna be quite an event. I don't know, let's see.
Oh goodness.
But it's not a big deal, right?
No, that was actually a lot smoother than I was anticipating.
Yeah, and that's kind of the difference between just a 4x4 pickup truck and a very capable one.
Yeah.
Because the suspension system is actually robust enough to take some bigger events,
Right.
kind of like ditch crossings and some of those bigger events. And this truck, I mean, is marketed as a Baja runner, right? It's like a truck that should be very capable and go at high speed.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it can.
It can.
It can. And we've done, I mean, I was fortunate enough, I went to Raptor school in Utah.
Oh.
They have, some courses, so owners who buy F-150 Raptors and Ranger Raptors and Bronco Raptors. Bronco has their own off-rodeos, right, around the country.
Mm-hmm.
But we did a lot of these trucks. You could jump, have small jumps in them. After everything has to be safe, by the way.
Of course.
And obviously you're not jumping on public roads. That would not be okay.
Probably not, no.
But the suspension, the live valve suspension, the Fox suspension is actually very, very capable and in the real world as well. All right, let's give it some beans
Okay.
on, well, it's not quite pavement yet.
No.
What do you think about that sound?
That sound, number one, sounds pretty great in my opinion, but this is also such a very smooth ride.
Yeah. I mean, these tires are 33s, so they're not humongous.
Right.
And I know a lot of people say, well, why don't they put 35s on this truck? And I think that's not the character of it, right? The character of this truck is a little bit more sporty, a little bit more nimble.
Right.
Of course, you can put giant tires on anything. But the Bronco Raptor has 37s, for example.
Those are not small.
Yeah.
So what's something you don't like though?
Well, actually, it's the tow rating, the amount of trailer weight you can tow with this Ranger Raptor. We've done an Ike Gauntlet, actually several Ike Gauntlets with this truck. We can roll some of that footage in just a minute. But the tow rating on this is 5,500 pounds or just over that. And while that's okay for a midsize SUV, I would say, for a pickup truck, I would like to see something just 6,000 pounds or above. So that might prevent me from buying this again. And another thing, Jen, check it out. It's the trailer wiring connections here. So 4-pin, that's nice. 7-pin, that's nice. But it's here underneath the bumper. It's a little bit low, so you kind of have to crawl under here to plug it in. And it's also can be hit off-road. And I think Tommy or somebody or one of us actually did hit it off-road. This is bent.
So maybe not the greatest placement for it.
Right. So what I would like to see is like on some of the bigger trucks like F-150s and Super Duties, those connectors are actually in the bumper here. So I would have liked to see that move up. But that's my dislike.
This is pretty near the maximum that this truck is rated to tow.
We're towing 5,500 pounds basically.
One thing for some of the larger trucks, especially HD trucks, can do very well on the downhill.
Especially diesels with exhaust brakes.
Yeah.
But this doesn't have an exhaust brake, different turbochargers technology, right? It's done.
Yeah, that's it. We're starting to flatten out here. So that's 4 brake applications.
Wow.
Which is a really impressive number for any mid-sized truck.
Dude, I cannot wait to do this because last time when the truck was untuned, the acceleration was around 10 seconds, right?
Yeah, to get up to 60 mile an hour.
Yes. But now, and hit it.
Let's see. Ooh, yeah, so that was around 9 seconds, if not maybe even just under.
What is it?
So 8 minutes, 1 second
Okay.
and a half. So
basically perfect. I mean,
yeah, once again within a margin of error.
Well, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, so Case and I took it down while the truck was tuned with about 5,000 pounds behind it and 4 brake applications and actually quite good performance up the mountain as well. That is very impressive for a mid-size truck and also an off-road truck at that. Number 4 on my list of top 5 likes is actually the interior. The seats are very comfortable, highly bolstered. Jen, check it out. Orange accents, everything.
Oh wow, yeah, that is pretty nice. I like the Raptor stitching and everything.
Yeah, and it's also kind of in the family, right? The F-150 Raptor has been around for many, many years, since 2011 or 2010. There's also the Bronco Raptor and also now the Ranger Raptor. So I think the family resemblance is here, especially with the steering wheel and the 12 o'clock marker right here. And of course, Raptor badging. And it's got that feeling and it's got that sporty feeling and also good visibility.
Yeah, I like all of the red or the orange accents around the vents and everything too.
And here, you can even use this vertical screen for drawing.
Oh, you've been busy.
I did not do the heart, okay? I wrote TFL.
Maybe I wrote the heart, who knows?
Okay. So, yeah, overall, the layout of this interior is really, really good. I do have one thing I dislike.
Oh, what's your bugaboo?
This. It's the shifter.
Oh.
So it's a console shifter, which is pretty normal and standard. But sometimes when I go between drive and reverse, I accidentally put it in park.
Oh.
So it's like I'm not super. Like I think if it had more effort, like a little bit more click style, I think it would have been better. But sometimes it's not ideal for making those small movements around the parking lot.
It's a little too loosey-goosey.
Yeah, but other than that, I've got pedal shifters here, and in sport mode, it just kind of wraps around you, and it's really a lot of fun. So I'm just putting it in sport mode, and that also put me in two-wheel drive, but I also have four-wheel drive automatic.
Oh, okay. That's
So
nice.
I would rather do that because there's a lot of power, and sometimes you need that front traction to kind of help you out a little bit. So if we could just pause here for a second. This is a country road.
Oh yeah, that throws you back. Woo! That sounds great.
Yeah, and a little bit, it's enhanced a little bit in the cabin.
Uh-huh.
So they're kind of pumping a little bit of sound.
Of course.
But outside, it's real. Like if you were standing next to this truck as it went by,
Uh-huh.
it's still, I think they did a good job with tuning the exhaust
Still
system.
sounds impressive.
Yeah. And after about, 9,000 miles, I noticed another thing about this Ranger Raptor.
Oh, what's that?
It's not very showy. Like in regular traffic, like if you were in something bigger like a Raptor R, F-150, or a Hummer EV, or I'm not going to say anything else, but like people look at you.
It's a very look at me truck.
Yeah, they notice you. In this, you can fly right on the radar.
Yeah, there's a little bit of, like you said, fly under the radar. You took the words right out of my
Well, I'm
mouth.
sorry. No, but I just mean like you could surprise people.
Yeah.
Like at the traffic light, if you want to accelerate briskly, you can.
A sleeper, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, on the radar, so people won't really be looking for you. So you might be disappointed. Like if you bought this truck and thought everybody's gonna look at you.
Not the case.
Not the case.
Not the case.
All right, so we took care of 2 likes and 2 dislikes. So next on my list of likes is the off-road capability and the gear that this truck has. So you can access some of this using this button. So I can push my off-roady button right here.
Looks cool.
Yes, and it takes a second for the screen to come up, and that's not my like. But what I do love, well, first of all, in the screen, you see the front camera, you see all your tire pressures, And then you can enable your rear locking differential and your front as well. And in different modes, it works differently. And you also have your trail control, basically kind of slow speed cruise control. And so we've taken this off-road several times. Tommy took it on a very difficult trail. Onyx off-road maps rates it at about like 8 or 9 out of 10.
Ooh, yeah.
So this truck did it. They've also taken it on the entire Clads loop. This truck did it. How about we show some video of that?
Yeah, a little straight, and now you can drive out of it. Just like that. Keep at that steering angle for now. I would appreciate a little cutout on the driver and the passenger side of the front bumper for a little additional approach angle. Nice and slow, my dude. Oh yeah. Beautiful.
Is my back tire in that rut yet?
Yeah. Basically. You're good. That's a good step.
Yeah.
Sounds terrible though.
It really does, man. Front locker makes a big difference.
It really does. I mean, we were talking about the crawl control in the Toyota, which does do it. But what the front locker offers, more than just additional traction, is additional control.
You guys love car and trucks? Well, I've got 3 great podcasts that you will enjoy listening to because we are deep into cars and trucks. And talking about trucks, right here is my man Andre and Case working on the next episode of Talking Trucks, where they delve deep into everything that is truckish, including breaking truck news, talking about the different models that are coming up, and of course, tearing down the world of trucks as only Andre and Case know how to do. But if trucks are not your thing and cars are sort of your thing, check out Carish, our podcast that is sort of car adjacent with Jen and Mary being the ish part of Carish. And finally, Tommy and myself talk all about cars at TFL's Car Chat, where we look into the newest models, talk about what's happening in the world of cars, break down the latest news. All 3 of these podcasts are available wherever you get your podcasts, so check them out. I think you'll really enjoy them.
All right, let me put it in Baja mode, one of my favorites, because it also adjusts the way this truck sounds, and a lot of other elements, including the brake, the ABS system changes too. So this truck really is very configurable, and if you can show, Jen, if you show the steering wheel, like the R button, that you can define your own settings, and you can see my mode settings right there. You can control, let me hit it again. You can control exhaust, suspension, this is Fox Live, steering, transmission shift points. So all of that is configurable. It's very easy to configure. And also the exhaust sounds really good. But there is also one thing I hate.
What's that?
Let's go on the outside.
Oh, Andre, that right there, that chime.
Yeah.
That's what I hate about Fords.
But Fords have had it for how many decades?
Like forever, like
Yeah.
400 decades, I don't know.
Oh, look, it stopped.
Finally. I'm traumatized by that Ford chime.
What happens if I shut it down? Oh, it's not chiming.
Okay, well, that's good.
Oh.
Just keep it shut down.
But do you think they should change that chime, or maybe not use it quite as often?
I mean, I guess it is obvious that, you know, it's a Ford chime.
Yeah.
It's nice that they've gotten something that is recognizable, but I'm just tired of it.
It gets under your skin sometimes.
does.
You know, my friend Steven Elmer from Truck King
Yeah.
used to call it, I'm a Ford, I'm a Ford.
Oh,
That's what it's saying.
That's going to be stuck in my head now. Thanks.
So as you saw there, this truck has amazing traction and capability. It's got the BFG's KO3s, it's got front rear lockers, it's got low range, but this is the thing I dislike. This is really number 3 on my list, and it's the side step. So it kind of goes with the family of trucks, right? It has a Raptor step, it says Raptor on it. And right now, if you look at the F-150s, if you look at the Bronco Raptors, and also the Super Duty Tremor has a kind of a similar step. But look, it doesn't have the clearance.
No, I see even a bigger chunk up front too.
Yeah, so this is missing. This is kind of the coating is missing here. We have it scratched there. So I think what I would like to see is an option. So this is the only way you can configure it right now. But if you could put like a tubular, like a rocker protector or a rock slider, it would have been a lot better. A little bit tucked in and protection for the body. but also that doesn't hang down so much.
Yeah, it kind of protrudes a little bit more than maybe it needs to.
And this truck is not super tall, right? You really don't need to like climb into it, right?
Seems like it's maybe even more for appearance.
Yeah. Number 2 on my likes list is actually the engine.
We already talked about that, right?
Yeah, we did. It is that good. So we talked about drag racing, we talked about Ike Gauntlet, and did amazing on both. But also efficiency.
Oh, right.
On the sticker, it says 18 highway, 17 combined, which is not good,
No.
right? But this truck surprised us in the real world. Case and I, after we tuned it, took it on a Denver 100 loop where we test all trucks and big SUVs. And well, let's show what happened. It's almost a Prius, right? At this point.
Very nearly.
Nice. Well, hopefully you won't go over 7. I mean, that would be bad.
That would be embarrassing. Oh!
Wait, what?
Oh!
No, that's not right.
Much, much better. 2 whole gallons different.
Well, you have to have a little top off.
Yeah.
My cousin, remember?
Yeah, your cousin. Top off Smirnov. I would believe that as a Russian name. I did actually for a second. Look at that. It's almost exactly 2 gallons less.
That is, okay, let's calculate. I'm impressed. I didn't expect that.
So, once again, 111 miles divided by 5.286, 20.
21.
Yeah.
Almost
exactly
on the money.
21.
So, as you saw right there, 21 mpg on the highway. That's 3 more that's on the sticker.
That's a lot better.
Yeah, this is at highway speeds. And, I mean, that was after the tune. So we had more power and the efficiency was pretty good.
That's surprising.
Yeah, and check it out. So you can run 87. We have been running 91. But we're here in Colorado, so we don't have access to 93 octane, right?
Boo.
Like we would do in Chicago, for
Yeah, it's
example. But we've been running 91, which is our premium, which turbocharged engines really love, right? So maybe that's why it was also liking it and getting a little bit better efficiency. But this has over 20 gallons of fuel capacity. So with 21 mpg, you can go over 400 miles without fill-ups.
That's not bad.
Now, the next thing I dislike about this truck is actually kind of a nitpick, but I think it's important. So check it out. So in this bed, and this comes with the Ranger Raptor, you have a 12 volt.
Okay.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
You have a 120 volt.
Household outlet, very nice.
Yes, but this is only goes up to about 400 watts. So this is useful because you can have camping lights, for example, set up, 12 volt system. You might have a trickle charger for your battery, maybe here. You could also run a small fridge, for
Yeah,
example,
that's pretty
like
nice.
a cooler. All those are great, but trucks now are coming out like, for example, in the TRD Pro Tacoma, you can get up to 2400 watt. So you can run bigger tools, more things in general. So I would like to see the Ranger Raptor just have more power. So that's one of my small dislikes. All right, we gotta talk about reliability. This Ford Ranger Raptor has been problem-free. And we recently did an oil change, and Zach and I, we sent in the oil sample to Blackstone Labs. We paid for it, I think $45 for this analysis. We'll do this with all of our long-term pickup trucks and most vehicles we own. And here's what Blackstone says. First of all, congrats with the new truck. There's some extra metal and silicone in the sample, but as you probably know, that's to be expected due to a first oil change. This was a first oil change at about 8,700 miles on the clock. And some of you may say, wait a minute, why did you wait so long to change the oil? Well, the truck oil life meter said we still had oil life left, and I'm a believer. I want to trust the computer, trust the engine management system, and kind of follow what it's telling me instead of just changing oil every 3,000 miles. This lab does say that some of the averages that they're showing here are based on a 5,200 mile oil change intervals. So we were a little bit over that, but a lot of the parameters are within norm. There's a couple of little issues maybe, but they said it was okay. Viscosity was a little low here and here, and the flash point was just okay. No traces of fuel, no traces of water or antifreeze, so the oil was really, really kind of stable, and total base number is 3.5, which means there are a lot of additives still left. And this is what they say. 3.5 TBN shows some active additives were left. So far, so good. So this engine seems to be really great, even after all the drag racing we did, all the trailer towing, and all of the off-roading that we did in 8,700 miles.
Andre, I really like this color. What's it called?
It's called Hot Pepper.
I
So
like that.
this was one of the brighter colors in 2024. We paid actually $495. It was an additional cost
Ooh, okay.
for this color. But you know why I'm so happy?
Why?
This color has been discontinued for 2025.
Oh, so
And
it's
I'm-
more rare now.
I'm very selfish. So now, not many people can have this color. There might be other cool colors coming as well, but I believe Hot Pepper, I just checked online on their configurator, it's not available anymore. But here comes the final dislike and also like. Which one do you want to start with?
I think we should start with the dislike.
Okay, and then end on a high note?
Yeah.
Okay, so the dislike, I've gone to online dealerships here in Colorado, and there's not a lot of Ranger Raptors available for sale, or just Rangers in general.
Why is that?
I'm not quite sure. I think Ford, if they can increase production, these are built in Michigan, right? If they can increase production, they're actually built along the same line as the Ford Bronco, the big one.
Oh, right. Okay.
I think they would sell every one of them if they could only make a few more. So that's my dislike, is that they're not available. They're not just easily accessible. But my like is actually the value.
Oh, what's it at?
So the final price, and we paid sticker for it. We're pretty lucky because some dealership are charging over sticker.
Woo!
So the sticker was $57,560, and that sounds like a lot of money, right? For
Yeah.
a mid-size truck.
Yeah.
But let me see if I can convince you. 405 horsepower or 455 after tune. A lot of power, right? It's got efficiency. It's kind of fun. I think you agree. Dual lockers front and rear.
Also pretty rad.
KO3s.
Pretty great.
Okay, maybe the front access, maybe it should be maybe an inch taller.
Yeah,
Like
I see that.
I think they could have improved, I mean, the space and approach angle just a little bit. But it's really hard to fault this truck. And maybe the only thing that would, if Roman was to sell it, because it belongs to the company, right? If Roman wants to sell it, the only thing that would stop me from buying it is actually that tow rating.
Oh, it's a little too low, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see something above 6,000 pounds, and maybe they'll do it, but I know it's a compromise with the suspension system and just the way it all works together. But I think at the end of the day, if you were to ask me, like, should we buy it again?
Would you?
Yeah, absolutely, for the company, right?
Okay.
Because it was a big deal, right? We've never had a Ranger Raptor before, and it turned out to be an amazing vehicle with very few flaws. It never left us stranded, never had any hiccups after 9,000 miles only, right? So not a lot of miles, but a lot of time has passed already, about a year.
Well, you heard it here, folks. He'd buy it again.
And also, if you were watching some of our holiday videos in December, Roman, Case, and I believe Nathan also voted. We all agreed that the Ranger and the Ranger Raptor was our truck of the year for 2024.
Wow.
So that's how much we like this truck. So I think as far as a business decision, this was amazing. We've done a lot of videos with this truck, and we'll continue to do a lot of videos with this. But personally, that tow rating might stop me from buying it.